Hello, awesome agents. Welcome to Ignite 2022. Keller Williams International and Keller Williams University have rewritten all of the content for Ignite. They've added so much more value to every session. And so it's got some things in here. We're going to do it a little bit differently. They have extended the sessions. And so what we're going to do to make it free for you to watch on your time frame is we're going to record all the sessions one by one, put them in our YouTube channel, and then we'll coordinate getting together to mastermind around what you've learned in every session. So today we're going to start with session 1, Spark Your Career. So this has gotten how they want it to be laid out, 5 days a week, how it's going, but we're gonna do a little bit different from them. And so for today's sessions, we're gonna cover being the real estate expert, lead generation, lead follow-up in the transaction. So today you're gonna learn how to be the real estate expert of choice. We're gonna start with Spark Your Career. So in today's agenda, we're gonna look at a new way of thinking, KW culture, KW value and market-centered value, Keller Williams resources, your career vision, your success system, and then we're going to recap. So let's go on. Anyone can do it. Not everyone will you? And that's from Gary Keller and the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. So Gary Keller is the founder and he is the CEO of Keller Williams International, and he wrote several best-selling books. You'll hear us talk about the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book or the MREA. In Keller Williams, we have all the acronyms. He wrote the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. He wrote The One Thing, Shift. There's a ton of great real estate books that were New York Times bestsellers, still continue to be bestsellers through the years, and that we teach from. Is where a lot of our models and systems come from. A lot of the training that you'll hear, you'll start going, oh, that's where that came from. So you'll see a lot of Gary Keller quotes. All right. Okay, so this is something you'll also see a lot of is the 6 personal perspectives. And it's the key to success and abundance. There are ways that successful people who've come before us think and approach problems and challenges. It's all about the mindset of success. Gary Keller created those. He said, what is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much? And then these are the common perspectives that those high achievers deal with. You want to embrace and commit to the 6 personal perspectives to help you achieve success in life and in this business. So we'll just take a minute to explore each one of them. So the first one, sorry, my little stand keeps rocking. The first one is to commit to self-mastery. So that everyone who has their real estate license committed to taking the class, studying enough, passing the course exam, passing the state exam. A common problem I would say that I see is that a lot of people make that their commitment, and then they forget, or they are not thinking through that the license is only the very first step. So you want to commit to moving through with self-mastery as you're building your real estate business. It's not just about getting a license. It's being a top-notch professional. So the first thing to committing to self-mastery is know your goals, know your strengths and weaknesses. See how to work with both your strengths and your weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. That's something that we talk about a lot. So, are you committed to self-mastery? Are you committed to knowing your goals, your strengths, and your weaknesses? Are you committed to acquiring new knowledge, skills, and habits? That's a lot of commitment, right? And that should be not just reflected in your internal intentions, but on your external calendar. The people in your life should know about it. They should respect it. And you should have boundaries and protections set up to make sure that you can implement these things. By being here and watching this video, you're showing a commitment to new knowledge. What you do with this knowledge, whether it's entertainment or you simply say, okay, that's a great thing, or you apply it, it's totally up to you. And that's a really cool thing about being your own boss. The second one is committing to an 80-20 principle, which means 20% of your actions lead to 80% of your results. So it's about getting the most from your time and your effort. It's about maximizing your results, and it's about having focus on what's important. You sometimes hear 20% activities are described as big rocks, or the one thing, or your dollar producing activities. What do you think is the most dollar producing activity for a real estate agent? Just think about it for a second. In Ignite, we're going to identify what is your 20%, what are your money making activities, and really the answer is lead generation. And yet that's just like opening a lid on Pandora's box. There's so many ways to lead generate. We're going to narrow it down, but your commitment to that is going to see your 80% results. It's going to meet your goals. So when you commit to lead generation, you make more money. You get to have more time with your family. You get to be more organized. It's pretty great. Then we have our third perspective, which is moving from E to P, again, with the initials or acronyms. So the E is the entrepreneurial approach. That's your natural level of achievement. That's who Katie is as a person and how I can just achieve on my own. Without having mentorship, without having coaching, without having training, I have just applied what I can seek in front of me, okay? And you kind of see the graph there showing that you can achieve a certain level of success naturally. And yet the P is the purposeful approach. And you can see how in the graph on the P, the purposeful approach, it's literally breaking through. So on the E, you can see your entrepreneurial, awesome, incredible personality, it's going to achieve something pretty high, right? There's an incline there that looks great. Well, once you hit that ceiling in whatever it is, you're going to be pretty disappointed, right? Because you're like, oh, I was such a great, I feel so great about what's going on. I see this a lot, and this is kind of the best way to mentally describe this is when agents have a difficult deal, okay? You don't necessarily know it's difficult, especially if it's your first deal. You finally got somebody that said, oh my gosh, I want to do business with you. And you get to use all these amazing new skills and tools and resources that you have acquired by getting your real estate license. You're doing it, you're living the dream. Well, then all of a sudden, there's a hiccup that makes this transaction difficult. It may be something that can be controlled and maybe something that cannot be controlled. And yet you get to that certain point and you're like, oh. So if the closing gets pushed off indefinitely, if the client ends up saying, I'm going to work with someone else, if they just stop in their tracks and say, we're not going to move forward with this transaction, all of those things can lead to disappointment. And then you're kind of like, man, a little bit resigned. Am I sure I want to do this? Am I sure I want to pay these dues? Then you're kind of looking around going, well, what else could I do, right? And you see how that decline is going down further. You're going to pick it back up again. You're going to go get a second win. I'm going to try this again, right? That's the third point where you're kind of inclining to fourth. Yet again, whatever the situation, you're going to hit some natural ceiling. And then the cycle just continues, right? You go up, You go down, you go up, you go down. Then you have the purposeful approach, okay? So the purposeful approach comes from what is not natural to you. It's following a model, it's following a system, it's having a coach. It is attending trainings that are challenging to you and teaching you new knowledge and skills that you can apply with your natural gift, okay? So you have focus, you have models, and you have systems which lead to those amazing breakthroughs. And again, this cycle is going to be repeated. I know $100 million producers, and this cycle is still repeated through them. So this is not about, oh, I'm going to go from a new licensee to get some transactions. That was just kind of an easy way to describe that. Do you have an example for yourself of a time when you have reached your ceiling of achievement? Right? So a lot of people have left their salary job or their career to begin a business in real estate. They feel like leaving that was a ceiling for them. It was not fulfilling them. So they wanted to try something new, and they became more purposeful in getting their license and running their real estate business. The fourth personal perspective is make learning-based the foundation of your action plan. So you're going to either be learning-based or you're going to be ignorance-based. Again, with that ceiling there, you see that line. So ignorance-based is saying, I know what I know, and I'm going to ignore anything else. Okay? It doesn't lead to anywhere. You just know to know. It's kind of like that person you've had in class that always raised their hand, always had the answer. It's not that they necessarily applied that, it's just that they knew some facts, right? But then if you're a learning-based person, you know what you know, and you know there's more to know. So there's always going to be more. You see that with higher self-actualization. Your productivity on the outside, it shows, and your enlightenment on the inside shows. And that is knowing for doing sake. You're doing something with the knowledge that you have. I'm neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I'm only very, very curious. Albert Einstein. Learning-based means you're going to stay in curiosity and be eager to learn more. And that is something we say a lot in Keller Williams, to remain in curiosity and not in judgment. So when things come along, instead of applying a judgment or a limiting belief, you can stay curious and stay open to the situation or the opportunity. The fifth personal perspective is removing your limiting beliefs. So you see the infinity symbol there. You can either have unlimiting beliefs, which means you unlimit your thinking and you unlimit your success, or you can have the limiting beliefs, saying, I don't have enough time for training. I can't be successful in this market. I can't devote 3 hours a day to lead generation. I have another job. There's all of these limiting beliefs we have. Yet if you're purposeful and you're committed, those limiting beliefs should not be holding you back. And then the sixth one is be accountable, okay? On this slide, it shows the difference in being accountable and being a victim. So accountability is an attitude and an approach to your entire life, okay? It means a tool for continually changing the results in your life in what matters most, which we say are your 20%. A person who's accountable for the 20% says, I own my life, and in certain areas, I want to continually improve my results. I will be purposeful, and I will be learning-based to continue improving. Ignite will provide you with the tools to develop and cultivate your accountability to be successful. What are some ways that you can be accountable right now? You can complete all the Ignite assignments. You can ask for help with any of the assignments. You can get another person that you know is taking Ignite, and y'all be accountable to each other to taking all of the sessions and doing the homework. You can have your productivity coach check in on you. You can have any other mentor or peer hold you accountable. So the victim is someone who is status quo. They do not seek reality. They fight reality. They blame other people. They make personal excuses, and they wait and hope for something to happen. The accountable person looks for change. They seek reality. They acknowledge reality. They own reality. They find solutions, and they get on with life. Happiness is not an individual sport. Sean Anker, he is an author and wrote, oh gosh, now I can't think of the book. It's something about the happiness factor. He spoke at family reunion this last year, and it was incredible. He's actually a scientist who studied happiness, and a lot of the happiness was community-based, and it also was habit-based that created that positivity in your real life. Gary Keller says no one succeeds alone, and this is saying the same thing here. Sean Anker researched what reveals happy humans. Happy humans are productive, creative, and better at problem solving. They're even healthier and less stressed. Would you agree that these outcomes lead to also better business success? Embrace being accountable. Find someone to help you be accountable and be happy. So from that, this is a slide talking about ahas. And I'm hoping that you have the materials, or you've got a journal, you got a notebook or something as we go through Ignite, and you can write down your ahas. What are your ahas around those 6 personal perspectives? We do full classes on them. We've kind of skimmed over them today, yet they're very, very important. And it's not always just real estate based, right? We talked a lot about your life, and yet real estate is the avenue in which we have chosen to do our life, right? It's important to understand your success in this business is not all about getting paid for helping people buy or sell a house. It's about your mindset, your beliefs, and your commitments to be the very best that you can be. All right, a little bit more about KW culture. We've talked a lot about mindset, a little about the models and systems, and we're going to take advantage or hope that you take advantage of all of the things that you have inside of KW to support that and just make this a successful career choice for yourself. There is an entire page on KW Connect, which is kwconnect.kw.com. It's connected to your MyKW login. So if you have not explored that yet, please go do so. It's got a lot of, just so many resources. It's devoted fully to culture or company. Resources are available to everyone. Culture is the #1 reason people say they choose Keller Williams. Today, we're going to focus on the MVVBP, Red Day, and KW Cares to learn a little bit more about that. So here is the acronym. MVVBP stands for Mission, Vision, Values, Beliefs, and Perspectives. Again, most people join Keller Williams for the culture and have an alignment with these belief statements. So our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. Our belief system is the Y4C2TES. We were in a classroom together. I'll get you to try to pronounce that. You have win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing, customers always come first, commitment in all things, communication, seek first to understand, creativity, ideas before results, teamwork, together everyone achieves more, trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, and success results through people. We also have Red Day. Red stands for Renew, Energize, and Donate. The entire company sets aside the second Thursday in May to renew, energize, and donate within the communities in which we serve. Keller Williams Montgomery has done a lot of community service projects in the past. This last year in 2022 in May, we collected items for military deployment packages. We have done blood drives. We have collected school supplies. We have collected work attire for men and women in need of, living in shelters and going on job interviews. Every year it's kind of up and open. We have the agent body contribute and decide what's going to happen. And then we do a big community service project together. KW Cares is dedicated to serving the associates and the qualifying family members experience hardship as a result of a sudden emergency, and that's health or weather related. All right, now we're going to look at the KW value and our market center value. Since 1983, Keller Williams has cultivated an agent-centric, technology-driven, and education-based culture that rewards agents as stakeholders. We are the world's largest global real estate franchise by agent count, with more than 1,100 offices and 200,000 associates. KW is also #1 in units and sales volume in the United States and is at the forefront of technology, training, and culture. KWX is the holding company of Keller Williams and composed of Keller Williams Worldwide, Keller Manage, Keller Offers, Keller Home Financial Services, consisting of Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered, and they're designed to serve you, the agent. So here are some awards that we have won. Pretty big awards. They're constantly updating this list. It's always in the KW Connect. So we're the top franchise for veterans in 2021, top female-friendly company, top 500 franchises in 2022, world's best employers in 2021, America's best customer experience in 2022, Americans' best employers for women and new grads, best employers for diversity in 2021, and more and more and more. This is fantastic for you to share as part of your value proposition because you have made the alignment to be with Keller Williams Realty. We have a lot of training and coaching. We have our internal training calendar, which is a Google Calendar that you can sync to your calendar. So if you have not gotten that, please go ahead and do that. We also have our training, our KW Connect calendar and our Connect Live. So things are on demand and live. We have a regional training calendar, which is synced up to our market center calendar. We have events like Family Reunion and Mega Camp. They're twice a year on rotation. Family Reunion is in February. It's always in a different city. Mega Camp is in August. It is always in Austin. And then Keller Williams University has a ton of content, and they've created Ignite, which you're here today. So Command, you have at this point, I hope, heard about Command. Command is our customer service management. It is your sales pipeline. It does designs. It turns in all of your digital paperwork. It has all of your contacts. It has smart plans where you can touch your database. It connects with social graphics that you can share out. It just goes on and on and on. It is limitless, literally. So I want you to spend some time exploring that. We have a Command app. So Command is the desktop version. You can use it on a tablet or something like that. It works better on a laptop or on a desktop. The Command app just translates to your phone. So anything you got going on in there, birthdays, anniversaries, who do you need to call, what your pipeline looks like, what your profit share is, that's going to also show up in your app to make it mobile friendly. Oh, and then I skipped over this. This is the KW Consumer app. So there's two apps that you're going to want to make sure you have downloaded. One is the Command app, and one is a consumer app. That consumer app is your branded app that you can share out with clients and customers. Connect with them. They're able to search anywhere. It's not MLS bound. Everything they look at, if they download it and put you as the agent, you see them as a new lead, or if you already have them as your clients or contacts, you see everything they do. So it's really cool. It's a really great way to keep in touch. So we talk about the language of real estate a lot in the Market Center. We typically do this particular exercise once a month, looking at the previous month during our weekly team meeting. So you want to check that out to learn more about how we're advancing, oftentimes ahead of other offices in our market. So passive income. This is a huge, 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 huge thing. They say now there's no way to save enough to be rich. It used to be just save your money, you will be rich one day. That is not the way the world works anymore. You need to have passive income, additional streams of income. So with Keller Williams, not only do you have a business income through sales, through being an active salesperson with us, you also have an additional stream of income should you choose to use it and tap into it through profit share and growth share. With profit share and growth share, you have no financial risk, no legal risk, no down payment, and no phone calls. You should have heard a lot about profit share already. If you have any ahas or questions, now's the time to take a moment and write those down so that you can ask a productivity coach, a member of leadership team, or somebody to clarify any questions you had about what we talked about in that section. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about KW resources, okay? So we talked about KWX. This is a new company, holding company within the last few years. Within the last probably 4 or 5 years, Gary Keller has been focused on Keller Williams International becoming more than just selling real estate. He realized there's so much more out there to make sure that the agents, as you can see this wheel here, stay in the center of the transaction. And by doing that, opening up these ancillary companies, they've then put it into one big company, all these separate ones that are connected in conjunction with, that you have unique access to. No other real estate agent can use it, and called it now KWX. The intention is that building this will provide more value to you, to your current clients and future clients. I mentioned some of these company names before. You'll hear more about them. They come to a team meeting and things like that. Anyway, if you're looking though, to just explain the wheel, you have the buying section, the selling section, and the living section. Again, connecting you and your client together, making it sticky so they don't go off and use Rhonda down the road, okay? So in buying, you're planning, you're searching, you're negotiating, you have to get mortgage and insurance, you attend closing, and then you have move-in. If you're not doing something along those lines in every category there to provide extra value to your person, an exceptional service while you're helping them, should they use you over someone else? Not necessarily, right? Then with the selling, they have to move out. They have options to sell. They have to possibly renovate or stage. There's marketing the home and negotiating. And then the living, of course, they have repair and maintenance and any upgrades they want to do to the home. We also have KW communities. So you may hear a lot about some of these communities. These are specialty segments inside of Keller Williams. And any agent can join any of these. And some of them are membership based and some of them are not. So the first, we have diversity, equity, and inclusion. You can join that committee locally. You can join masterminds and things with Keller Williams and KW Connect. There's classes or certification, all of this with diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have KW Commercial, Land, Luxury. Military is one of our newer branches. KW New Homes, Sports Entertainment is also fairly new. And then Young Professionals. If it's something you want to learn more about, just reach out today. All right, enough about KW. Let's talk about your vision, your future. So we want you to visualize a huge future. Let's imagine a year from today. I want you to write this down. If you don't have the participant guide with you, write it down on your paper, on your notebook, okay? Today is, so I'm recording this session on July 19th, 2022. So a year from now will be July 19th, 2023. Your business is thriving and your life is everything you've dreamed. Your customers rave about the experience and value you provide and think of you when they have a real estate need. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You are helping others live their dream of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You're building the foundation and momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experiences from the income you desire. You're a top agent in our market center, rookie of the year if you're new. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant and handle 80% while you take on the 20% that grows your business. You are on the path to, and you fill in the rest. I really want you to sit here for just a moment. I'm going to pause for 2 minutes and think about what this looks like specifically in your life. Okay, if this is your life, how would that make you feel? Is there anything you need to add to this? I challenge you to go back to the bullet point where it talks about enhancing your life with experiences and the income you desire. What is that income? Write it down. It's important to do that. So speaking of write it down, I didn't even know this slide was coming next. This is how to do setting a big goal, okay? So if you don't have your participant guide, I need you to draw this little graph out. You put a circle in the middle, okay? And then the 5 squares around it. We want to expand our thinking beyond the year. What are you doing for the people you care about? What charities would you support? How would you make the lives of yourself and everyone around you better? I'm going to mute again, and I want you to take a few minutes to complete the chart. In the boxes around the middle, fill in the habits, the projects that you most care about, or the things that you want to do, okay? Then you're going to add an estimated amount. If you don't know the actual amount, estimate, round up. Okay, this is important. Don't go, oh, well, I think it's $437. Just put that $500 in there, okay? Or whatever it is, $50,000. All right, then you take all of those amounts in the 5 squares and you put them in the middle there, okay? Do not limit yourself. Don't say, gosh, I'll never be able to afford $364,000. That again is a limiting belief. I want you to remain open-minded to this huge, big life that you're planning right now. Ignite is about working on the skills and habits to get you what you want. We're going to take 2 minutes, and I want you to establish a mindset of caring and gratitude while you're doing these goals into your future. Okay, did anybody's number surprise them? Even jobs you love, you find it hard to find motivation sometimes. You're going to struggle with that. But as you learn the ins and outs of running a highly functional real estate business, you're going to need these reminders. This is what we call a big why. This is your big life. This is your 364,000. I'm going to get there one day. It's totally possible. Your earnings in real estate are literally limitless. We're the people that limit ourselves. So there's things that are important to you to do. Write them down, set a goal around it. It may not be this year, but if you're building a career, what are the odds that you can have an extra $400,000 added to your income in the next 5 years in any other career? It doesn't necessarily work that way. Inside real estate, we're very blessed. So let's use it to help us. To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration. For doing it, that's your big why. That's what we just talked about. As we go through Ignite, I want you to look for ways you're limiting your own success, removing barriers that you're putting in your own way, and be especially aware of those limiting beliefs that creep in. Connect your goals to push through and achieve them. At KW, we believe in thinking big. We never limit ourselves by thinking average or anything less than big. Everyone has a big why. Your big why is what you're most passionate about. Along with your mindset and attitude, it's what drives you. It's what stirs your soul. It's beyond business. Is it money? Is it freedom? Is it providing for your family, college tuition for your children, building a legacy for the future, supporting a charity? What is it? You need to write this down. Anyone can achieve the goals set in this course, but not everyone will. The journey requires discipline and commitment to follow model systems in a schedule. It requires passion towards something bigger than the task at hand, your big why. First, you need to have a big why built around your passion, and then follow the models you'll need that you learn in this course. You keep doing it and you will achieve grand success. Once you have a strong enough big why, the how does not matter. To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it, your big why. And to fuel that big why, it'll take money, an income goal. So where do your commission dollars go? It's very important to understand this because you're going to have to defend it to a potential client one day. Just write this down. I'm telling you now, okay? So we just talked about how much money you would like to earn to pay for the things that are important to you. We're going to talk now about how your commission works. Many new agents, and let's be real, experienced agents, seasoned agents, don't think about where their money goes. Okay? A lot of people get excited, they pocket that check, and then you get in trouble down the line. And we are going to tell you this used to be a session further along in Ignite, and we have bumped it up to day one, okay? Because it's that important. So where does the money actually go? Okay, we're going to animate that for you. The first part is split typically 50-50 between the buyer's agent and the listing agent. That's what we're going to use for this exercise and example today. Okay, doesn't mean that always is the case, yet for this exercise, we're going to do that. Okay. Then you have a third of it that goes to your market center. That is your company dollar. The franchise royalty, and any fees associated with the brokerage. Then after you pay that, you have another third that needs to go back into your business. Let me say that louder. Back into your business for business expenses, because this is a business, okay? You then need to put some away for Uncle Sam. This is also important. You will owe taxes, whether you want to believe in it, get upset about it. None of those things matter. Go ahead and set aside. Start that habit now, today. Then you have your take home is the last bit. See, it's a lot different than thinking you get a full 3% payout. You see that check at the closing, you're like, man, this is amazing. You then have to take it to the broker, right? To the brokerage, and it has to get processed. What you get off of that should still be gross to you because you still need to take out business expenses and taxes. And then what are you going to pay yourself? Treat it like a business. You do not want to have a year's worth of income wiped out through taxes, through expenses that you didn't see coming. Be responsible. Know your money. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, another session on expenses. But that way you can be prepared. Be responsible. Is this what you're expecting? It's something we talk about. At least when I do brokerage interviews, I discuss all the splits and percentages. And yet still when people get their closings, they still come in very, very surprised sometimes. So here's an example of an income goal. Most everyone I talk to wants to make 6 figures at least $100,000. So for us, B is our company dollar and royalty cap. It's actually $23,000, not $30,000. Your business expenses, they're estimating about $50,000. It probably will be less than that for you. So you add those 3 numbers up, your $100,000, your company dollar, and your business expenses. That totals D, which is what you need to have as your gross commission income. Okay, so that in this example is $180,000. For E, you can look at average sales price in the market, or you can look at your own personal average sales price. This is the exercise you need to do. So how many deals do you need to do at $9,000 gross commission income to make the $180,000 GCI to get to your take home of $100,000? In this example, there need to be 20 deals. So for you, this is what I want you to write down, okay? Your net income, you define that. Our company dollar and royalty cap is $23,000. Your business expenses right now are any renewal fees, any marketing that you're paying for. If you're paying for online leads, add that there, your monthly office bill, tally those up, cell phone bill, any of those kind of things, signs you're buying, put that in C, your business expenses. Just estimate. It's okay. If you don't know right this moment, just estimate and go back later and look at it. So you add up A, B, and C now, right? For our example earlier, it would at least be $175,000, okay? That's the total gross commission income you need to earn. The average sales commission in our area is $6,000, so it's less than the example. So we'll take $175,000, we're going to divide it by $6,000. That means we need to do 29 deals to hit our goal of $100,000. Are you following me? Now, these are your numbers, but it's important to know how to do the exercise. What ahas do you have around this? Write down notes. What are your thoughts on achieving that goal? Is it simpler or more difficult than you thought it was going to be? Now we're going to talk about success systems. So here is your daily success system. This is your homework for Ignite, and these habits need to really be carried out until forever. Okay. So the first thing you have is you need to do 10 conversations a day. This is daily. You need to put this in your calendar. You need to put this in notes in your phone. You screenshot it, whatever you need to do. This needs to be top of mind for you, and you need to follow these habits to become successful. 10 real estate conversations a day. Text message, phone call, It doesn't matter. 10 real estate conversations a day. The best script in the world is, hey, how are you? Listen, 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 whatever they say. How is work? We'll get into some scripts later about that. You ask about their job, they're going to ask about what you're doing. Even if you have a previous job they know you for, say, hey, did you know I activated a real estate license, or got started with Keller Williams? However you want to introduce that, they're going to say, how's the real estate market? It's going to open up conversation for you. Okay. You're going to add those 10 contacts into your database. Excel sheet, command. I prefer command. It then allows you to do more with them later. If you put them in the Excel sheet, you got to take them from the Excel sheet and put them into command later. So just start putting them in command. Okay. Then you're going to do 10 handwritten notes. If I called you and I said, hey, how are things going, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I'm going to then write your name down. I'm going to get some thank you cards. You can get them Dollar Tree. You can get them professionally, inked, printed, whatever floats your boat. The handwritten note is highly underestimated. Hey, so great talking to you today. Here's a couple of my cards. If you think of somebody that needs some real estate help, I am happy to help them. Send it out. Okay. This needs to be on rotation for the 10 people you spoke to. And then you want to utilize the 10-5-1 social media engagement. Okay. So the 10-5-1 is, I believe it's 10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 message. If we move through and see that they have more explanation around that, I will, let's see. They do not. So that's what I believe it is. It's 10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 message interaction. And then we have enrichments that you can do. Again, I want to warn everybody about the TCPA. If you are not using a dialer, and if you are calling people from your phone or people that you already have permission to speak with, you should be fine. If you're cold calling through a dialer or through some sort of lead generation system, you need to be very, very careful, because you will be fined for this. All right, so powerful conversations. We talked about connecting with people, those 10 conversations. Those 10 conversations are going to help you lead generate. They're going to uncover motivations, identify objections. They're going to help you close deals. You're going to speak in terms that a customer understands and build confidence. There's a lot of scripts and resources to use in Ignite. That's something that you can also be doing with your accountability partner. So here are a couple of conversation starters. Did you find everything you're looking for? This is for someone who's called in the office, if you're doing phone duty or they've looked on the app or whatever it is. Go ahead, look around. Please let me know if I can help you. I see you admiring, so this is not what I thought it was. I see you admiring the big screen TV. Are you looking to get one for the big game this weekend? These are things we commonly hear when we're shopping in a store, right? So it's to trigger that conversation. It's the same thing we should be doing with our scripts. All right, so we talked a little bit about your sphere. Let's define that, okay? So your sphere is your sphere of influence, or your SOI, again with the acronym. They're people you've met, they know you, trust you, and respect you. They're more likely to help you than a lead online. And therefore, they're more likely to refer you business or do business with you directly. These are going to be your biggest cheerleaders. I see agents skip this sphere first thing. They're like, oh, I don't want to bother people I know. You're not bothering them. You're helping them. You're providing a resource for them. Don't you prefer to do business with people you know, like, and trust? So do your people. According to the National Association of Realtors, 66% of sellers and 41% of buyers found their agent through a friend, neighbor, or relative, or they use an agent they'd worked with before. That is your sphere of influence. That is your database. So important. It literally costs nothing to call the people you already know, check in on them. It requires fewer contacts and less effort because you don't have to introduce yourself. and ask them to refer you to other friends and family. So some questions to get the conversation started could be, who do you know going through a life event that may need to move soon? Who do you know that doesn't know your real estate agent? For everybody that just got licensed, that's going to be a lot of people. Even if you did the social media post, even if you have 1 million followers and you're an influencer, there's still going to be people that do not know. And then who have you not spoken to lately? Those are the people you need to start calling. All right. This is how you're going to catch your sphere of influence on the move. This is a graph that depicts people when they're likely to move. NAR has stated that the average person moves every 7 to 10 years. As soon as they purchase, the likelihood of a move falls into the bottom there, right? Because they're not likely going to move back to back. And then it moves back up until they have another move. Your job is to stay in relationship, that's those dashes there, in relationship with them, to get close enough in emotional proximity to be there on top of mind when they're thinking of moving, providing that resource and being their agent. Here is a way to have conversation with your sphere. It's called the Ford. You're going to ask about their family. You're going to ask about the occupation. You're going to ask about any recreational things they're doing and their dreams. The wonderful thing about social media is if you start your day, with your thing before you lead generate, you're going through Facebook, and the people that you're going to call, you've also looked at something they've done on Facebook. That can be something wonderful that you bring up. Okay. It's a natural conversation. Hey, I just saw you went to Disney World. Hey, I just saw you have a new grandbaby. Hey, I just saw you change jobs. You're doing a personal connection with them. They're going to feel very good about the conversation. Again, jot down any ahas that you have around the session so far. To take your ahas to achievement, go back through the notes from the session today, and I want you to make notes on your notes, okay? How has your thinking changed? What ideas or mindsets were new to you? What do you feel differently about? What has been meaningful for you today? How will your behaviors be different going forward? What actions will you take? What tools, systems, or models do you need to use? How are you going to be accountable? All right, so our next session is session 2 on embracing your job. I look forward to recording that for you and having that out, and let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining us. See you soon.